This guy got out of prison early but has to wear a GPS ankle tracker everywhere he goes. It's insanely smart. It knows where he is at all times, and he even tries to leave the house, and boom, the police get an alert right away. And here's what happens the moment he stepped outside. This is why you should be careful when eating apples. If you take a knife and scrape the skin, you might notice a white layer coming off. That's wax. Many apples are coated with it to help preserve freshness and protect the fruit. You can sometimes tell more about how the apple was grown by the number on the sticker. If it starts with a 4, it usually means it was conventionally grown and may have been treated with pesticides. But if the number starts with a 9, that indicates the apple was grown organically. This Japanese man has an unbelievable talent. He's competing against another expert to see who can make a bed the fastest. And even though both of them move quickly, the process still feels slow because everything has to be absolutely perfect. Judges watch closely and will call out even the tiniest mistake. As the clock keeps ticking, the pressure builds. The man works with extreme care, terrified that one wrong move could ruin his entire run. Now he's moving on to the comforter, folding and smoothing it with military level precision. Every motion completely intentional. His competitor looks like he's about to finish first, but at the very last second, the man completes the pillow and pulls off a perfect final move. This soccer player had just thrown his jersey into the crowd, but when fans rushed to grab it, one of them accidentally dropped his phone right in front of everyone. The player didn't notice at all, so the kid had to start begging people near the field to throw it back. Then an older man walked over, picked up the phone, and for a second it looked like he might pocket it, but instead he smiled and tossed it back up, giving it right back to the kid. For 20 years, cars have been crashing into the exact same pole, and no one could figure out why. A woman living nearby said it happens so often, sometimes several times a day, that she's tried everything. Wrapping it in reflective vests, adding lights, nothing worked. Most people thought there must be a sharp turn or something blocking the view, so she decided to record the drive herself. What she found was surprising. The road is nearly straight, with only a slight left bend before the pole. Even at night, visibility is clear. Some blame careless driving, others say the pole sits too close to the lane. But the most likely reason is target fixation. When drivers focus so hard on an obstacle, they unconsciously steer straight into it. This man is only filling his cup with syrup from the soda machine, and it's completely undrinkable on its own because it's way too sweet. But there's a reason behind it. These machines don't store pre-made drinks. Instead, they mix carbonated water with syrup on the spot. It's a smart design that saves restaurants tons of storage space. The catch? If the calibration is off, the mix can end up tasting either too watery or way too strong. Have you ever noticed that? During a bodybuilding competition, this athlete was allowed just one cheat meal, but instead of stopping at a single donut, he pulled a clever trick. He stacked 7 of them together, crushed them into one giant cheat meal, and ate the whole thing like it was his final meal on Earth. Why is this athlete running while carrying a bike in his hand? At first, it might look like he's cheating to get ahead, but that's not what's happening. During brutal uphill climbs, or when a bike suddenly breaks down, athletes are actually allowed to pick up their bikes and run, as long as some part of their body stays in contact with it. This single dad might be too clever. He brought his daughter to play a money claw machine to try and win a prize, but when he took his turn, the claw accidentally grabbed the ball in a woman's hand instead of any cash. Suddenly, both the woman and the dad started smiling, because his daughter may have just won herself a brand new mom. This kid has one of the coolest jobs in the world. He's a circus performer who's been pulling off insane stunts since he was just 9 years old. Being able to showcase his incredible talent in front of hundreds of people every single day is exactly why he loves what he does. This guy convinced the store owner to let him do the flooring in his style, and the result at the end is incredible. He starts off by coating the floor in black epoxy resin. He took a colorful approach by adding red, green, blue, and purple. Then with artistic flair, he mixes all of the colors together to create these one-of-a-kind patterns, and the result is absolutely stunning. Would you let him do your floor? This is hide and seek, but the players have to camouflage themselves, and the winner gets $110,000. The timer goes off, and it's time to find the 4 hidden players, but right before the timer sounded, the blue player jumped into the pool instead of hiding on the roof like planned. Who do you think is winning this? The seeker walks right past the pool without noticing blue, but she quickly spots the red player hiding inside a car. Now she heads back into the house. Will she find the white player? Absolutely not. She walks right past him with no idea he's there. Eventually, she does spot the blue player hiding in the pool. That leaves only the green and white players. She has no idea where they could be, but assuming they're inside, she goes back into the house again, still missing the white player hiding in plain sight. Finally, she finds the green player in a completely green room, and just like that, the white player wins the money. This girl on the street had unbelievable reflexes. The moment she noticed two guys on a scooter staring at her strangely, she realized they were about to rob her. So she quickly emptied a trash can and climbed inside to hide. Then she had to stay completely still, hoping they wouldn't find her. When the men arrived, they searched everywhere and were shocked when they couldn't spot anyone. Once they left, she finally crawled out and headed home safely. This mystery has confused everyone and nobody has ever figured it out. People thought this staircase was incredibly tall, and the girl climbing it looked terrified the whole way up. But the truth is nothing like it seems. She wasn't scared at all, because the staircase is actually very short. The height everyone sees is just a simple illusion. This is why beginners should never handle a boat anchor. When this guy tried to release it, he confidently tossed it into the water. But the captain had no idea it was being dropped, and the boat was still moving at full speed. To make things worse, he was standing in the wrong position and had to pull the cable back to the center. Then the real danger started. As soon as the slack disappeared, the rest of the rope began ripping below deck at insane speed. By the time the supervisor rushed over to help, the cable was already moving so fast that grabbing it could have easily torn someone's hands off. This guy jumped into the world's most dangerous pool, and what happened next was terrifying. The moment he hit the water, he started drowning and called for help, but when a second man jumped in to save him, the pool revealed its real danger. If you're ever on a bus, watch out for this scam. Strangers will quietly place candy next to you and leave it there without saying a word. After a while, curiosity kicks in and you might grab one without thinking. Then later, they come back and demand money for it, usually at a ridiculous price.
My first night running the food truck alone, the owner gave me one rule. Never lean out the service window. Hand the food out at arm's length. Keep your body inside the truck and never put your head past the frame. He wouldn't say why. He just said the last guy who worked nights didn't follow it. We were parked at the edge of a dark lot, the only light for a block. Around 1 a.m., a man walked up out of the dark and ordered a burger. I made it, set it on the sill, and slid it toward him at arm's length. He paid, then dropped his change, and it clinked somewhere below the window. He asked me to lean out and help him find it in the dark. I almost did. Then I remembered the rule and stayed inside. He stopped smiling, picked up his own change, and walked back into the dark. A few minutes later, a woman came to the window, holding a crying baby. She lifted it toward the sill and asked me to take it for just a second. The way she held it right at the edge of the frame made me say no. She stared at me, not blinking, then carried the quiet bundle back into the dark. After that, they kept coming. A kid who dropped his toy below the window. An old man who couldn't reach the counter. Every one of them found a reason for me to lean out, and every one had the same flat stare, waiting. None of them ate, none of them left. They just lined up in the dark. I stopped serving, stood dead center in the truck, and didn't move. When the sky finally started to turn gray, the line began to break apart. One by one, they turned and walked off into the trees behind the lot. The last one stopped at the window and looked at me for a long time. He was wearing the same apron I had on, with the truck's name across the front. The owner never told me what happened to the guy who worked nights before me. He didn't have to. He was still out there, waiting at the window for someone to lean out. The manager gave me one rule for the graveyard shift. If a car parks at Pump 6, do not go outside. Pump 6 had been capped off and out of order for years. He wouldn't explain it. He just said the last guy on nights broke that rule. At 3 a.m., headlights swung into the empty lot and a car rolled straight to Pump 6. It stopped, engine running, headlights on, and just sat there. Nobody got out. Nobody pumped gas. The pump it parked at didn't even work. I watched it on the security monitor for 10 minutes. It never moved. Then the little call button at Pump 6 lit up, like someone was pressing it. But on the camera, there was no one standing at the pump. I pressed the intercom and asked if they needed help. A calm voice came back and asked me to come outside and pump it for them. I told them the pump was broken and they'd have to move to another one. The voice said it had to be that one. It said it always had to be that one. I remembered the rule and took my hand off the intercom. Then the dome light inside the car clicked on. In the passenger seat sat the coworker who'd worked nights before me. He was pale, staring at the store, slowly waving for me to come out. The voice on the intercom said he came out to help and now he gets to rest. I backed away from the counter and shut off every light in the store. The car sat at that dead pump until the sky started turning gray. Then the headlights swung back around and it rolled out of the lot. As it rolled past the window, the dome light was still on inside. My old coworker sat up front and the seat in the back was empty. The manager never told me what happened to the last guy who worked nights. He didn't need to. That car comes back to Pump 6 every single night, and there is always one empty seat in the back, waiting for whoever works it next.